everyone. This video is about wrapping up the end of the year and your child's grades. So I use these note cards that you can get from, I think if you just Google, I get them from Curriculum Express. So I think if you Google Curriculum Express Supervisor's Progress Cards, you can get these cards, and they are really awesome. They're cardstock. They come in a pack of maybe 50. What I do is during the school year, I put their name and the school year, birth date, everything at the top, and then when I do my kids' grades, they each have a folder like this for their grade. And what I do is when they take a test, I put the test in here. So I give them the new pace, and then I put the test folder, the test that they're going to be taking in here. And so when they take the test, they give me the pace back, and I pull out the test, and then all the score keys for it are in here. So all the score keys for 10th grade are in here. And after I grade their test, I put their score on the test, and I find it's a good idea to put it on the pace too. That way if something gets misplaced or something, you have it in two different grades on the physical pace and test. And then I also put it down on my supervisor progress card. And I place this just in the back of my folder. I make sure I get folders with pockets. So I place it in the pocket, and then it's just there. Whenever I need it, I can pull it out. So everything is in here that is needed for testing. So the pace I give to them, the test I keep in here, the scores for their test are in the back. So at the end of the year, what I do is I pull this out, and sometimes I write the wrong score, or I write it down on the wrong spot or whatever, and so this ends up just kind of being jumbled. There's some white out. So I'm going through, and just to kind of check my own records, I'm checking the scores on them with the scores that I wrote down on the card, and then I'm rewriting it on another card. So at the end of 12 years, they will have 12 of these cards that are really neat and filled out and ready to go, and I can pull off any information out of these. Advantage of this is I can also scan these in really easily to the computer, so I can have my own filing system and be able to go and just print them off if I need them. They're double-sided, but everything that you need for 1 year of PACES is on here. But I love that they have 18 slots. It works well for us because we take 30 math tests because we do Saxon math. And so I can take it on here, and I can put, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 18, and then on the back I can do the rest of the test. It's also nice because if my kids do more than 12 tests in a year, I have the spots for that. So it's not limited to just 1 year's worth of work. Sometimes my kids will do more in a year, especially younger grades, and I can put all of them on there. So this provides the spots for that. I can just keep going with it. Or if there's a favorite subject and it's more, they want to do 15 paces in that instead of 12, then by all means I want to have the room to record that. So that's how I do the end of the year recording. I also take all of their paces if they're in high school. I keep the pace. This physical science has a reading pace and a writing pace. I go ahead and toss the reading pace, which makes my son really sad because he's like, there's so much good information in there, and I'm like, it'll come back around. But so I go ahead and toss the reading pace. I just keep the writing pace, and I keep the test for high school. Someone also mentioned that they take the Michael's page and they staple it to the front of this. That's a brilliant idea, because that way if you're ever questioned on what your kids learn, you can be like, well, this pace teaches all this, and nobody has to go through every page. We do ACE, but we are under a charter school. We don't use their curriculum. They're all an online curriculum at the charter school, and basically we have a deal worked out where they do state testing on my kids and other tests during the year, and my kids always score super high because we do ACE, and so they just let me keep doing what I'm doing as long as my kids score super high. So we do that, and but I'm graduating my oldest daughter through them. They gave her all the credit for all of her ACE and her math, so they're graduating her. She's going to their ceremony. She's getting a diploma from them, and it's going to be really cool because what they did is they took the My Goals page and I said, this is what she's learning for the year, and they said, okay, that counts, and gave her full credit for it. So that's been really, really cool for her. So then I take all of the kids' paces that they've done and they're finished with, and I put them all together. So I'll do all of our math sheets and test, and then all of the English, social studies, science, word building, literature, Bible, whatever, and I put them all in a box and I put them up in the attic. I plan on eventually destroying these boxes, but right now that just gives me something to go back. If there's a grade that I'm missing, or if one of these gets lost, I can always go back to my boxes and look at the grades on it so that I know I have an accurate description of everything that they did. So that's why I keep it. But once my seniors graduate and they have a diploma for high school and they're accepted into a college or whatever path they choose to go on, then I feel like it's just fine to go ahead and destroy the paces all the way. I keep different sheets or different pages that I've copied from the paces separate, just because there might be some things that they want to keep or that their kids want to read, or in high school you do a research paper, and so that's separate, and a final speech and different things like that. So I'm just getting through there. We have a kindergartner and a senior this year, so getting to experience all the different branches of that. And I realize I usually keep it in a diaper box, like a box for diapers. They're long and skinny, and you can put the paces upright like this in it, one right after another, and I have too many children to do that, so I'm going to need 2 diaper boxes now. But anyway, however you want to store them is up to you. For the younger grades, I do just the test. I don't keep the paces. I just toss the paces and keep the test. I figure I can get online and get the My Goals pages if I need it, but I also might pull them out and start stapling them. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's what I do now. It changes just a little bit every year. I tweak it just a tiny bit to fit our small home. The one thing about using these folders is your kids aren't always in 8th grade for all of 8th grade. Like my 8th grader did 8th and on into 9th this year, so I ended up scoring her work towards the end of the year with the 9th grade folder, but I just keep everything in her 8th grade folder. It's just a good, I always know where it is. And so at the end of the year, I have all these folders out. I'm scoring everybody's work with, a higher grade. But I think it makes them feel kind of special to be like, oh, you can't score it with that. You got to get the higher grade. And it kind of just works. I know ACE calls them levels, not grades. Just to be an encouragement for all of you guys is it doesn't really matter if your kid's ahead or behind or right where they're supposed to be, just as long as they're being challenged. If they're behind and they're bored, that's not any better than if they're ahead and they're bored. Like they all need a challenge to grow and stretch and figure out this life and where God has them called to. And we definitely want them to be adults that grow and stretch and fight battles and know how to work hard. So that's my end of the year routine that I'm doing. I have 2 more grades left. I'm really excited to get this year wrapped up. We finished a lot earlier than we usually do and started a little bit later than we usually do, but we pushed pretty hard this year to make sure we stay on track. I don't like getting to the end of the year and just feel like I've got nothing, super good to offer. That's how I wrap up my year. So if you like that, please like this video. I'll try to put out a few more now that I have a little bit more time to get these grades in. If you have videos that you have suggestion that you want to see me make, I'd like to do videos that you guys need. So just give me a holler and make a comment, and I'll see what I can do about that. You guys have a great day.